This is gonna work.
Sweet.
Oh,
Says
okay. We're good.
there we go.
We are good. All right. Well, hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
How goes it?
Goes well. It goes well.
How goes
Just had
it?
4 shoots today. Sent over 2 projects for video editing to your team for
Awesome.
2 reels. Looking forward to getting that back probably Friday. And yeah, yeah, it was good.
Love it, love it, love it. Are you guys seeing? So I'm Northwest, Zach, you're East Coast, Rob, you're Southwest. I am starting to see things kind of taper down a little bit as we kind of go into like late September, early October. You guys seeing something similar? I know Rob, like you guys down there are kind of different seasonal wise.
Yeah, we're starting to pick back up because all the snowbirds start returning in October, so
Mm-hmm.
everybody starts prepping to get everything on the market.
Kind of the same deal for me. I mean, it's we get like the full blown like fall leaves and color change. I think you guys do too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, a little
Um,
bit.
yeah, so generally for me, my peak month is usually August, or at least it was in a prior year. Uh, this year, I actually should be set to beat my previous peak, or not my
Okay.
previous, but like last month's peak. Um, so I'm still going, but I can tell like it almost always November comes and things start to chill out a little bit. That's just the kind of the way it's always been. Even when I was subcontracting for a bunch of companies,
Mm.
it would always tapers off come November. I'm usually pretty busy until mid October, like kind of like that early April to mid October range is where I have got, or at least I've seen like the most volume of shoots going on. So yeah.
Gotcha. One of the things that I am intentionally going to start to do is start kind of, and I've always been bad at this. Like, I'm gonna start to reach out like now and get in front of the agents on, okay, like, are you doing, client appreciation events, right? Because whether
Mm.
that's video, videographer coverage, or do you need marketing support, or what. So getting in front of them for that. Do you need any type of like end of the year highlight stuff, right? Because
Mhm.
people love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, trying to create a program where I get to kind of pre-sell my stuff for 2026, because there are going to be, I have several clients that have had a really good year, and a lot of them would definitely like the tax write-off to be able to kind of, okay, pre-purchase some of the packages. Like, I've done this in the past, but I typically won't start until like mid-November, late November. But I've had agents, prepay, 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand. Um, so the difference in strategy for me this year, kind of taking a piece out of the money model book, right,
Yeah.
is I'm gonna take that, and whereas in the past I just kind of tucked it away, um, I'm gonna actually use some of that as seed money to like run aggressively, like paid ads, whether it's YouTube, Google, Facebook, and
Mhm.
actually trying to take that capital, and trying to like turn it into a fuel that's gonna help generate more leads, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because the people that are busy during the winter, I mean, if they're busy during the winter, they're going to be crushing it during the summer. So getting people in the door that way seems like makes a lot of sense. I
With
like your idea.
your
Man.
with your events, are you going to structure it or package it like if they put you on the retainer now, they get um, something of more value or a discount or
I think it's more just on the availability aspect of it, because I do start to get hit up towards like after Thanksgiving, and people are like, And like Thanksgiving itself, there's a lot of people that does like pumpkin pie drop off and stuff like that.
Right.
So I would actually be like, hey, like, what day are you dropping off pumpkin pies? Like, you want to have me tag along for, 2 hours, 3 hours, get some, behind the scene. And man, that's a great opportunity to actually get client reviews, like video reviews.
Mm.
Yep.
Um, and we've actually had a lot of success where the agent was like, hey, like, because they typically they'll have people sign up to get whatever pumpkin pie like delivered to them, or they'll have people come to them and then do it, so that so you can either let them know ahead of time, like, oh, hey, I'm gonna have my camera guy here, like, we'd love for you to just share, a quick, a sentence or two on like your experience of working with us. I mean, you're able to get some really nice like branding, client interaction, like B-roll type of stuff.
Hmm.
So that, as well as like the events. So it's not just like the coverage of the actual event. This becomes like stuff that you just kind of have with you for whatever they need to create down the road, whether it's website video, branding video, YouTube video.
Hmm.
So when I position it this way, then it's almost like, okay, like, me paying you, 2 grand to cover my event, what am I gonna get? Like, what's the ROI? It takes them away from thinking that way to, oh, okay, like, I'm capturing this event as a moment where not only am I gonna get a, recap video and nice people saying nice things, I'm also gonna have these footage as potentially stuff that I can use down the road.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
And and
I never thought
client.
about the pumpkin delivery
Mhm.
aspect of it.
Yep, absolutely. And usually whenever I throw in the, hey, like, at these events I can go around and have interaction with your clients and actually get video reviews for you, that goes such a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. Video testimonial.
Now, are
Mhm.
you charging it hourly or a bundle package of 2 hours
It,
or?
it, it depends. It depends. Like, now I have like agents that have done it year after year, so I kind of know, what the cadence is. But if it was like somebody brand new, it'll be like, okay, like, it's either gonna be like a 2 hour coverage. Is it gonna be like half day coverage, meaning like, my half day is considered to be like, 5 hours. So, sometimes these things, like, they start at 6 and don't end till 10. So then,
Right.
you're gonna need a half day coverage. So I
Mhm.
will separate. I will separate again, me the business owner, me the camera guy, and then the video editing cost. Like, so that's how I typically tend to put together the packages. But I'll say stuff like, okay, like, you're gonna get a 4 hours of video photo package, right? Video capture, photo capture. You're gonna get, I'll get you at minimum 4 video testimony video, and then afterwards you'll get a recap of the entire thing, so that you're able to then follow up with an email and say, hey, thank you for attending, right?
Mhm.
There have been some agents that we've actually built out like an event landing page for them as well,
Mm.
because that really tends to drive that RSVP, through that site. That way we have all the database to be able to, follow up with them afterwards. So the agent really does nothing. I mean,
Mhm.
it's the same concept as how we do listing launchpad. It's just applying it to an event.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Hmm? I think
Oh
I
no,
would.
it's just go ahead.
I was just saying, I like, I've done one or two events before, and it always seemed like so much chaos to try to keep up with. Where I'm like, I'm used to this like more, I guess, rigid workflow of like,
Mm-hmm.
this is how I'm going to work through this property versus an event where everything's going on all at the same time. So it just seems like way more chaotic.
If you have a list of things that you are going to do,
Hmm.
even down to like what kind of shots you're gonna get, you can actually simplify it, even among the chaotic environment. So for example, like I'll say, all right, like I'm gonna show up 30 minutes before the actual event starts, and that's where I'm gonna get all the setup shot. It's kind of like shooting wedding, and I've shot weddings before, so maybe that kind of helps me a little bit. So
Mhm.
so you're doing all the pre-event prep and stuff, and then you get a couple of shots of like people coming in, shaking hands, hugging, right? And obviously I'll mic up the agent and get some of those like live event like interaction and stuff. Sometimes with the camera you feel like you have to constantly be shooting stuff. Nah, just like make a list of, okay, this is the type of shots that I'm gonna get, and if you get 5 or 6 different shots of that type, we'll be able to put together a nice event video.
Yeah.
So it's not always, oh, like I gotta constantly shoot. Like you're not really, even if you might be on site for 4 hours, you're not really shooting the entire 4 hours. um, and then I'll set some time aside to do like review videos and stuff. But man, like those events like go by so quick.
Mm.
But then it's I mean, I've charged anywhere between like 2 to 4 grand, depending on how long I'm covering. And then once you come back, you just upload the footage and we'll take care of the rest.
There you go.
Very cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a few agents that every year they do the pumpkin thing, and
Mm-hmm.
I've never thought about doing video for them and getting
Yep,
those reviews.
100%. Even if, Rob, like even if, because you tagging along is the part that costs the most amount of money, right? So then
Right.
you can even swing this as, hey, like, why don't you, why don't you like record some stuff with your phone, and then we will edit it for you. Like we will put it together for you. And you give them a shot list of, okay, maybe you take a, you can take a selfie. You can ask a client to like say something, or you can even say like, hey, Mr. Seller, like, what are you thankful for? Right? So
Yeah.
so stuff that is not like me related, just get them on the video. And as the agent, if we can put together stuff like, hey, these are my clients and these are the things that they are thankful for. I am thankful for them. My goodness, my life is awesome. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like even
like
that,
that.
like those, I mean, I don't know, like those aren't gonna be like incredibly too expensive to get edited. So, you can probably, swing that for a couple $100,
Right.
right? Because the bad part about event coverage is always like when you get home, what happens?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
thankfully, like our, your photo editors will also edit like event photos. I'm pretty sure, and they'll do a pretty decent job. Worst case scenario, I've got an AI thing, does wonders with portraits and event photos and stuff. So I got you, right? And then video, you just send it away. Hey, here's the event. This is what it was, and phenomenal job of just putting it together. Um, and I'm kind of like, so my goal is to try to do 4 events in December where I can average somewhere between like 1,500 to 2,500, and
Mm-hmm.
that'll kind of be equivalent to doing like 5-6 shoots.
Yeah. There you go. And it gives you a little nuance to your routine kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Something to change it up, keep you sharp.
I mean, Rob, you've done this long enough where like we are really well, you might be different because you're seasonally kind of different, but like we are now entering into that dreaded the slow season where we need to be either manufacturing business revenue opportunity for now, or we got to put in the activity to make sure that when January and February comes around, all those March, early March listings that's going to go on, like we got to be on top of that, right? I think what happens with us is like sometimes we just kind of get caught up on like, woe is me, it's the environment, it's the season, and we're just kind of like, oh, like next thing you know, like I just spent the whole week not doing a whole lot, even though I only had like 2 shoots.
Well, and I think you're kind of bringing up a point that a lot of us, I think, start to miss. Like you said, normally you get to that season and you're not ahead of it and marketing these things. And, really, I think a lot of us, we really don't think ahead in our marketing. Like we're we're going into the last quarter, so really we should be working on our marketing for January, February, March. What are we going to be doing? What's our plans for that time frame? You know, being 90 days ahead when it comes to the marketing. And I think a lot of us just don't do that. We, you know, there's all kinds of events and stuff that some of these agents do. Like, I know every either March or April, one of my agents, she does a client appreciation event, and I used to go photograph it. And you know, I hated doing it, but I still did it. It was good money. But because I didn't continue to market that to her, she ended up, you know, going somewhere else. So, you know, I think using the holidays and different seasons to our advantage and getting ahead of our marketing will change a lot for a lot of photographers.
Right. Even just planning out like your own strategy, like my own strategy of like what am I gonna do for my clients, you know, like for the holiday season. You know, am I gonna
Right.
send them a card? Am I gonna, you know, hey, shout outs to, you know, Mailbox Power. I'm gonna be using that thing like hard this season. But you know, even stuff like that, I always found myself doing it like last minute. But this feels like the first year that I'm like, okay, like it's late September, like I'm gonna get ahead of it, and then have all that like put together.
Yeah,
Sweet.
that's been my New Year's resolution every year.
There you go.
How
You
early
know,
are
like
you guys, like, in terms of the cadence that you're reaching out, like, to the clients as like a reminder in some sort, whether it be something you're pushing, an event thing, or just like a touching base? Like, usually, what's the cadence for that? For say a client that hasn't probably worked with you and not on a super regular basis, or they don't have listings that are popping up all the time.
I think it's kind of tough because I think in a lot of markets, I think, you know, you've got your top agents that are consistently busy. Then you've got the ones in the middle where some years they just kill it. And then you're thinking, man, next year's going to be really great with them. And for some reason, next year's not great for them, but other agents it is. So I think it's really providing value consistently, having some type of a touch point, whether it's, you know, some type of resource that you've come across to stay in front of these people, whether it's, you know, a home of the week. At one of the conferences that I was at, you know, one thing that they did was for different agents every Friday, they went, took the team, and they would go to a listing and film all kinds of crazy TikToks, reels, everything like that to promote that agent's, you know, featured Friday listing. But it was all put on their company's Facebook page, with people ended up following them, getting that agent exposure. So it's, you know, I think at least once to twice a month we should be touching points with everybody, whether they're an existing client, a lead, but at least once to twice a month be in front of them some way. But I think it's not just promoting the work that we're doing, but providing something of value to them.
Yeah, 100%. And do you preference towards SMS or email?
So I do email just because there's, you know, iOS 26, you know, there's all these features coming in to block, you know, people's numbers and different things like that. A lot of the providers, carriers, that if enough people start reporting you as spam from whatever number you're texting from, the carriers are going to block that number completely from coming through. So, you know, I've always been email or pick up the phone. Has always been my two best options. You know, even if it's just leaving a voicemail, you know, something along the lines, hey, we've got this new package that we put together, just wanted to make you aware of it. You know, whatever it may be, new floor plan, new iGuide, whatever. But, you know, when you're really talking about a reactivation campaign is what you're really talking about for the people that haven't used you in a while. Maybe they haven't had listings, maybe they've been using somebody else. So it's coming up with something to throw back in front of them of, you know, hey, here's our newest package, get $50 off it to try it out for your next listing. Whatever it may be, some of the stuff like Jay does, you know, you can use like he was doing with the Zillow outreach, you know, doing the Zillow boost and a video as a reactivation. You know, if that agent isn't doing those things on their listings, that's a great reactivation pitch right there, I think.
I think half the battle with what we do, because we're dealing with a saturated market, but also our clients are very creatures of habit, right? Meaning, at least for me, a lot of the agents I've worked with, you'd have to do something wrong for them to leave you versus they found something better. I've had some agents that was not very loyal and just kind of went with the cheaper option, sure. But for the most part, I think agents are very much like a creature of habit, where if you have a good relationship, good working relationship, and it works, then there's really, they're not going to go anywhere. But with that being said, like, the thing that I wish I would have done a better job is what Rob is saying, that consistent touch, because sometimes it is out of sight, out of mind, and there have been times where I went 4, 6, 8 weeks without getting in touch with somebody, and next thing you know, like, ding, a listing pops up and that I don't recognize, right? Like that's like that worst, worst moment. So I'm consciously making the effort, like organizing my database, my client list, ABC, so that I can build a email marketing system that's gonna go out every week. Whether it's drip, I mean, I'm even thinking about doing like voicemail drops. So whatever is available, I'm gonna leverage as much as I can to, constantly be in front of them. And you know what? If they're gonna unsubscribe, it probably means they weren't gonna do business anyway. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it definitely, like, that touch, like, so Rob mentioned something about SMS. So my plan is I'm always going to carry a physical list of all the clients that I am going to manually text from my phone. I know Rob's going to cringe at this. I'm going to text them on my phone, personally checking in with them. And then I'm just going to put a checkbox next to them. And then when I'm done with that list, I'm just going to go back to the top and I'm just going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Whether it's, hey, have a
That's
great day, right?
yeah, that's
Whatever I see, have you heard about the Compass? Whatever it is, just have it ding, have my name appear on top, just to let them know, like, I'm still here.
that's probably the way I need to go about it. Is like because I'll do that on a this might seem crazy, but I do that once every 6 months. So I do it at the beginning of the season and kind of the end of the season,
Mm-hmm.
a highly personalized message of like, hey, was just thinking about XYZ listing that we did, a couple months ago. Saw that closed. Congrats. Just wanted to say congrats and was thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. Excited to work for the next one.
Mm.
Blah blah blah. And then I'll go through and do that. But I'll like set a day aside and then like do that as a full batch. But I like your idea of like almost taking it in like a, you know, 10 clients a day or something like
Right,
that.
right.
Um,
Here's actually one thing that I accidentally um, came up with and did very well is every time we get a listing order, I have my team go into Zillow and Redfin
mhm.
and favorite the listing.
Mm,
So what that does is every time, so when that listing goes to market, guess what? There's an email in your inbox that says, "Ooh, just listed."
mhm,
That's my cue to text the agent, "Hey, okay, we're finally live. Best of luck, right?" And then as soon as that listing goes pending, guess
I
what? There's another
love
email
that.
sitting in my inbox. So I'll text them. And
Mm,
literally sometimes I'm sitting in my office like at night and I'll see the email pop up. I am the first person to congratulate them because they went pending. And I have some agents, they're like, "Dude, like, how do you know this fast?" And I'll tell them, like, "Yeah, I care about you. I'm stalking you. Watch out for the camera in your office, right?" But that's a great, great way to just kind of have a systematic thing, like creating an excuse to do outreach. So it'll happen when they go active, and then you'll get another email when they go pending, and then when they close. So when I get that, closed email, I'm like, "Hey, congratulations. Looks like you're buying, lunch next time because you just made money."
mhm. I
And
love
another
that.
thing we do is like during the last quarter of the year, And then usually about mid-year is I send out surveys
Mm.
asking them what their marketing plans are for the year. What are you focusing on something different than this year or last year to kind of gather what are they looking for in promoting their properties and their marketing and themselves, because a lot of these agents, they'll go gun-ho at the first of the year. I'm going to get on Facebook, I'm going to do YouTube videos, I'm going to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And when we start talking to them about, oh, you see a lot of agents are kind of doing this, they start asking, well, how can I differentiate myself? And so we start talking about a marketing plan with them for their listings based on what we're getting back from surveys. Plus, it allows us to restructure our packages and pricing to what the people still want versus what we think they want.
For sure.
And at the
Right.
end of the day, I think it just comes down to the good old phone call,
Yeah.
right? Let me give you a great example. There was a agent had posted in, this is not a real estate like photography group, it's just like a Seattle photographer group, like regular photography.
Yeah.
And an agent had posted saying, I have a new listing and I need a videographer. Now, the old me would have been like, oh, hey, I can help you, comment and then just like be done with it, right? But today something was different. I woke up feeling different. I woke up feeling good. I felt invincible, right? So I didn't even comment on the post. I looked her up. By the way, real estate agents information is one of the easiest ones to find, right? We all know that.
Yeah.
I looked her up. I sent her a text message.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, I saw your Facebook post. This is what we do. Here's Listing Launchpad Pro. I've got some opening on Friday, which is the day that she wanted. I would love to chat. So that was about 7 o'clock in the morning. And I said, I would love to talk to you if you're available at 11 a.m. That was the text message. And then at 11, I called her because she didn't respond to me. And I said, hey, just wanted to call, follow up on my text. This is what we do. I'm the CEO. I'm the founder, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Would love the opportunity to chat with you. And I hung up that phone going, you know what? She's probably not going to call back, but I feel good because I put in the work, right?
Yeah.
And what do you know? Like 2 hours later, she calls back.
There you go.
She calls back. She's like, yeah, I would love more info. Like now, I'm still kind of like texting back and forth. I don't know if she's going to book. And, she has like half an hour left before I have to say yes to somebody else. But the moral of the story is, man, in my 20s, I was on a sales desk for an insurance company. I showed up to work at 8:30 and I made 80 dials a day. And I'm asking myself, like, dude, like, if I can do that now, like, I could probably make a killing. But, like, why am I not doing that? Like, what's stopping me from doing that? Right?
What's stopping you, Jay?
I don't know. So now it's just like, just get stuff done kind of mentality. Like, to a point where, like, whether it's every day or every other day, I don't know if you guys know, like, I fast Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So maybe I'm just going to be like, all right, like, I'm going to carve out 2 hours, 2 hours in the morning to, message. Because, like, you can't really call people at, 8 o'clock in the morning. So if I don't have a shoot scheduled, like today, I can wait till like 10 o'clock to call somebody. But otherwise, at least, send them a message, follow up with it. And it's a contact sport. But I feel like whether it's social media or the society or the time, whatever it is, the culture, like we took a contact sport and turned it into like, oh, hey, let's just message each other kind of thing.
Actually, I've had a conversation with him or two. He's really busy, but there's a guy in my area, one of the like top performing real estate photography guys. It's called CPV, and he's doing about 80 grand a month during busy season, and that's how he did it.
Mm.
Like he did like 2 years straight of like 50 to 100 calls every weekday. End of story. And he
Yep.
just did that. And he grew like crazy. Obviously, he's killing it now. He's had some issues with like training and turnover amongst photographers and stuff. But yeah, that's exactly how he did. And he'd almost. It's like I'm the same way where I look at it and I'm like, what's really stopping me? Because I did that previously in a sales role for like a car company. I wasn't a salesperson, but I was the internet lead and would try to do the cold calls and drum up business and set appointments for the salespeople. So I'm like, if I was doing that, I could probably do it here as well. And I did it a little before, but it's hard to get in the flow. Once you're in the flow of it, it's not so
Right.
bad. It's just
Right.
like
A-
get in
And
those.
I'm almost at a point where I will sacrifice one morning a week, right? Just not book a shoot, and
Mhm.
then just have that morning be like, okay, from 9 o'clock to 11:30 for 2.5 hours. Like, I'm gonna make 50 dials.
Yeah, my thought almost goes to like like I outsource the lead gen with Instagram, and I look at that and I'm like, okay, I've been through this battle with myself like more than a dozen times, trying to be like I want to do it, and then I sit down and I make 20 calls in a day. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to lunch. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do 20, 40 more, and I'm gonna be content. And then I come back and I start get distracted or go do
Mm-hmm.
something else, and then
Yep.
suddenly that's it. And then I go to look at it the next day and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore.
Right.
So
Right.
I know at least for me, I think if I go down that route, I'll probably try to outsource it, or I'll try to hire or get someone in place that's their only responsibility, and I can
Mm.
track it. And if they're not doing it, then it'll show, kind of
And
thing.
that is that's a good point, because if I could do everything all over again, like if I can reverse the time, go back 8 years, and I was at that point where, like, who am I hiring, right? Because I brought on another shooter, then a VA, then a graphic designer, and then so on, so on, so on. If I can go back, my first hire would have been hire a salesperson.
Mine too.
Yeah, absolutely, 1,000%.
Especially when I was in a market that didn't have anybody doing this.
Right.
It would have been sales, and then it would have been like customer success, the follow up touch points afterwards,
Yeah.
and those two, and I'd have been retired by now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, but then it's also like, when you want to call people, like, what are you calling them for? Because you don't want to just call them and be like, oh, do you have a listing coming? Like, I miss you, But I've been thinking about, with what am I gonna call people?
I would do
And
it based on coming soon.
was that?
I would do it based on coming soon. That's how I would do it. I would have an agent give me their coming soon, so I have access to them. I've done it before. That's how I did it previously. Um,
Oh yeah. No
and you
such
just
thing exists in state of Washington. No, no coming
you
soon.
don't have coming soon.
No, no, cannot pre-market. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, one time I was at a listing shoot, and I shot like the front of the house with my phone,
Hmm.
and I tagged the agent and said, "Oh, can't wait for this listing to, for everybody to see this." And then I got a call from like a Karen kind of agent, like, "Oh, you can't pre-market listings." Yeah, so
Yeah,
there is
it's
no pre-marketing listings in the state of Washington.
same here. It's
No.
once you promote it, you have 24 hours to go active in MLS.
Mm.
Dang.
I know, I know. So consider yourself lucky, because that's a tactic that we are not able to use. But with that being said, I've been kind of doing a lot of like deep dive studying into, okay, how can I help the agent get better on YouTube, like create presence on YouTube? How can I help the agent create presence on social media? And when I say social media, it's Instagram. And then how can I help the agent create presence with Google Business Profile? Oh man, Like even in just last 48 hours, I'm already like, oh, like I didn't know that. It's crazy how you think you know stuff, but then when you actually sit down and go deeper into it, there's still so much more that you can do. So now I'm just like, all right, like the first person I call, like if I'm gonna call, if I'm gonna call Zach Robb, the agent, the first call is gonna be like, hey Zach, like I noticed that you don't have a YouTube channel. Like, is there anything that I can help you to be able to get started? Because you and I both know, I mean, YouTube is where everything's at, right?
Mm.
Because I guarantee that every agent at one point or another thought to themselves, oh, I probably should do YouTube,
Yeah.
right?
And there's a 4-week email campaign to agents, tips of how to build your YouTube channel, then what to post on the YouTube channel, what types of videos, community experts, you know,
Mm.
there's a whole email campaign touch points right there just
What?
on that.
Exactly, exactly. I should probably make that. So because at the end of that call, you're either gonna get a yes or a no, right? But no one's gonna deny like, oh, I don't need YouTube, right? I mean, I guess some of the older folks maybe, but okay, well, great. Now I'm gonna go through my list of couple hundred people that I have in my database, and then my next call probably like 4 to 6 weeks later is gonna be, hey, like what about your Google Business Profile? And it's like, what about your Instagram? Oh,
So now you
oh my
8
goodness,
weeks.
I found the Go High Level Funnels to be a fascinating link in bio page. Like you can make some pretty looking link in bio type of page on high level, right? So now I am pitching that as a free service. Like we will make you an incredible looking link in bio page that you don't have to pay monthly fee. I will
Meaning
I will happily exchange that for one order of Listing Launchpad Pro at $1,800.
There you go.
So
Fair
so
enough.
that's three different things that I'm gonna call people on, and by the time I cycle through 3 times, that probably takes me 6 months to do it.
Yeah. What's the link in bio page look like? Do you have an example?
Yeah. So I have one that I am building for myself, and
Also, as a quick side note, do you guys charge a processing fee?
a processing fee. What are we
Yeah,
processing?
like, well, if you run it through most large processors, they charge a 3% fee. It's common for a lot of businesses to not
Oh, like
include
like
them.
credit card?
Well, yeah, yeah. But then when they go to pay, processing fee. You know what I mean?
I don't, just because I haven't wanted to get into the legalities of it and what can be, can't be. I've just stayed away from it. Like, I think we can charge it here in Arizona, and I think there's no issue. But it was just, I looked at it as another thing that I got to worry about. What happens if that law changes? What happens if they say that we can't charge it anymore? Is there any tax issues? Just that's the way I looked at it. So I was like, I just build it into my cost and of doing business and leave it as that.
That is pretty cool.
All right. So I don't mean to do like self-promoting thing, but I'm just trying to like build it out for myself because again, I don't want to be like I am the greatest hypocrite in the world, and it's like, oh, like I'm telling people like, oh yeah, you need a place to point people to where they can learn about you, right? Get to know you, like you, and trust you. So I'm trying to get out of that hypocritical stage. So it's like all these are gonna be links that they can click on, right? And then I don't know why this went dead. Probably because we're live streaming right now. But this kind of piece of code plays the latest video that I have uploaded in my YouTube channel.
That's
So
pretty
we
cool.
can make this into whatever agent, whatever the latest listing, you video that's up there, like it'll play. And for the agent, what we're doing is we're gonna say like, okay, like every time you have a listing, and if you shoot that listing with us, we will go in and update this page so that on the top, it's always gonna say my latest listing. Right. For, I mean, if they're willing to pay $1,800 for Listing Launchpad Pro, like I will get my team to individually go in and update this so that the agent is going to have a real-time update of a link in bio page.
Makes sense.
And
That is
on the
fun.
back end of it, you can put Facebook pixels on it. You can put Google Analytics. What do you call those, Rob? The
Tracking tags.
yeah,
Tags.
whatever you call. Yeah, so you can retarget, and I mean there's so much application to this where oh, and then you know what I found out, Rob? Like the links, I can put the UTM or whatever in the links that people click on, so I don't necessarily have to email it, but I can still track like where the traffic came from.
Right. Yeah, you
Yeah.
could do that, or you,
Yep.
if you wanted a little more deeper stats, you could use trigger links.
Right, right. So it is super fascinating because once we have this, then I now have two separate ways that I can show the agent that we're helping drive attention to their brand, because either we're gonna show them stats on how much traffic is going to their link in bio page, or we show them traffic on how much we show them stats on how much traffic we're driving to their listing website.
Yep.
And this, like, I know you guys are, you know, HD Photo Hub, and I know you guys, you know, are Ario, but man, I swear, like, this thing is so magical, and like I'm not trying to sell you guys on it, but it's more like I'm trying to like show off. So Rila has this thing, like this is like pretty incredible. Like, it allows me to build a showcase page for each individual agent. So for example, like let's see, so like we can literally build a separate page for the agent, and like this probably takes like not even half an hour to build. But it basically has, it's like a landing page that has all their past listings where people can go in and, you know, click and see, right? And then we can put tracking on this as well. So this I share with the agent by saying, hey, when you go to listing presentation, you take this with you and you show the seller, because basically this is your portfolio.
100%. Why? Sorry if this is like a little bit of like a, but why wouldn't they like go to Zillow or something like that, where you can see all the agents like prior sales and stuff like that?
They could, but it's Zillow. It's not yours.
Yeah. Oh, I guess for agent self promotion and stuff.
So
I don't know.
so,
My mind
so
goes to like Zillow has all the
Yep.
reviews tied in and stuff like that.
Yep. So let's talk about that. So let's say we go to, so this is one of my good agent / friend, his Travis Duty. If you guys ever visit here, like, I will take you to West Seattle. It is the most fascinating place. It's awesome. All right. So I'm gonna go over here, and then I'm gonna say Travis Duty Zillow. So we're gonna go to his Zillow page. So this is his Zillow page, right? So I don't know about you. If I'm trying to showcase to somebody regarding like my branding, I don't know. Like, you know, like, is this
I'll
more?
chime in on this one, Jay.
Yep.
So what this does is it's another touch point reinforcement. So most likely somebody hiring him is going to look at Zillow. They're going to look at that portfolio when they talk to him and he does a listing presentation. He's going to include his portfolio, and they're going to go to Zillow. They might go to Google Business Profile, look at his reviews there. They're going to look at social media. So it's just another reinforcement to help overcome the trust tipping point in somebody's head of going, you know what, we're making the right decision hiring this guy. versus the next agent that comes in and only says, you know, oh, my profile, everything you need to know about me is on Zillow.
Correct. Correct. Um, the one thing that, well, couple of things that we're gonna be working on in here is we're gonna inject couple of custom codes, so that we have a AI chatbot that can answer questions about the agent, and whether it's what's your process like market, like we're literally gonna build an AI chatbot that people can ask about how the agent does business, which ultimately leads to like booking, right? And then because we have the ability to be able to add a lot of like custom stuff, so if I just go to edit site, there's like different there's different pages that I can add, that allows me to inject the custom code. So like this literally kind of like becomes your portfolio page, if you will. And from the back end, we don't have to do anything a whole lot extra because this company actually kind of went out and put all this together. So
That's it.
just thought I'd show that off.
Yeah.
But the thing that I feel like I have been able to do that kind of makes me different from a lot of people is that for whatever reason, I was always thinking beyond just delivering photo, video, virtual tour. It was always, what else do they need when it comes to marketing? Like, what else can they do with the stuff that I provide, so that it's going to help them, be able to get more business.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of leading into the I think what we spoke about previously. I've actually been talking, or you and I had spoke previously, but on the social media like 10-day blitz, I've been asking almost all the agents I've been on site with recently, just kind of showing them the example that you had sent Rob, like that example piece, and kind of referencing that and saying like, what do you think of this at a first glance if we added like a little bit agent on camera and mix up some of the clips? Like, would this be something you're interested in? And trying to get a feel for like where I would be able to sit on a price point. And overall, the feedback has been pretty solid. I haven't tried to like get anyone to buy it. I'm really just looking for feedback right now on if it's something they would want and that kind of thing. I find that a lot. The price sensitive agents still aren't really interested, or like part timers, that kind of thing.
Right.
But full timers and anybody who's more active on socials, they like it because they slip up. Like they're not posting consistently and stuff like that. So this would kind of be an easy fix for that, where you can almost substitute like 20 days of content, even a month's content if you wanted to stretch it with one thing, which is pretty sweet.
Absolutely. And those are the types of things I think will help us, carry over the, quote unquote, like, slow season.
Yeah.
I think the most number of people I had in our marketing program was probably like 13, right? I mean, that, 13 people at, 1,600, like that's not bad.
I'm just referring to the blitz. I'm not even referring. I'm not interested, at least currently, in any kind of retainer. I want to keep it at the listing media only.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
So
as
that
part of
that
like
way,
a upsell as part of the listing media.
100%. Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't have to do any extra
Right.
appointments or spend any extra time. I just
Right.
well, maybe I spend an extra 30 minutes getting a couple extra photos, a couple extra videos, some extra materials to mix it up, get a little
Right.
more written down on the property. But
It's really not even that much time. Probably like 15, 20. You just take extra couple of shots. And then like, if you see something interesting, like I literally just take my phone out and then I take, vertical stuff with my phone. So, but then that could potentially increase your average order value by, $500, $600, $700.
yeah, so I was wondering on how you go about the downsell process for that. Like I obviously read $100 million Money Miles recently. big point on that was the downsell process and like how to like structure the continuity offers. And I was wondering if you're doing anything for downsell on it and what you're doing. Like, are you removing feature,
It won't
price?
be, yeah, like it won't be. So my personal, like I am through media, like not as the video editing agency or marketing agency, but like the when I
Yes.
go to the agents. So I don't have this as a written like set in stone, but it's more of me talking to the agents, like reacting real time.
Mm.
Um, so what I'll do is I'll say, okay, like because before I haven't officially changed the name yet, but it's going to be called Social Media Booster. But before that, it was called 10-Day Blitz. So when I go, hey, like we've got this thing called 10-Day Blitz, and then they're like, ooh, like I don't know. What about if I make it into 5? And that would be the downsell.
So you just change the post parameter.
Correct, because in my brain I know if we can, instead of doing 3 reels, 3 stories, and 3 posts and one carousel, we can just simply pull back, maybe 1 reel, 2 story, 1 post, 1 carousel. Maybe we just completely eliminate the carousel, and 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 I literally just make up the number. Like, what do I think that this person's gonna buy? I know it's terrible, but I haven't really made this into like an official offer.
Yeah.
But maybe that is something that we could consider, because even Rob had mentioned like, hey, like instead of 10 days, what about if we did 5? So maybe there
Mhm.
is value in doing 5-day, right? Instead of 10. I'm more like go big or go home. So I'm like, you know, we initially started as a 7 thing, like a week, but then instead of saying like a week worth, I felt like saying 10 days had more impact because it now became double digit.
Well, and I think with a 5 day though, for agents that it can help get them to a 10-day campaign once they
Mm.
actually see results, once they see traffic. It's kind of that intro offer to minimize the risk of it, of okay, let me try it on this listing and see what the reporting comes back at, and then grow into something larger. I think some of them are that aren't using social media the way that they should. They just don't know the results, so they're kind of looking at
Mm.
it as a gamble.
Yeah. I think that's the nice part on where I'm getting a lot of these clients is I'm only getting them if they're active on socials. Like if they're posting using
Y-
hashtags, because that's
Yep.
how I'm finding them. So all the
That
people that I'm collecting are like they're that's already their platform, or at least they're I know they're at least active on it. And um, yeah, I've been almost thinking about it as like a I don't know, because I like the idea of being able to pitch this thing as like if you're only getting one listing per month, you've got a whole month's content. Like you can stretch it and post it once every 3 days. 10 days is 30 months, or 10 posts is 30 days, and you're keeping active. You're staying on your page. You're promoting your listing. You can post stuff in between if you want stories, but like this is almost like your month of content if you stretch it. But if you're a busy agent, then you can compress it at that 10 day, which I
right.
like.
And keep in mind, oh man, all right. I hate to self promote, but keep in mind, if let's just say you did Cinematic Plus, right?
Mhm.
You have the horizontal video, you get a no graphic video that you can repurpose. You get a vertical video with a no graphic video that you can repurpose. You can easily turn in a month worth of video if you do Cinematic Plus and a 10-day blitz. Like, no doubt.
Yeah. So with the 10 day blitz, it's more so. I think for me like that is going to be very targeted on the social media side. So I would almost I mean I almost shoot the 10 day blitz or the real versus the cinematic the same. Like I don't really change the style and like or the clips that I'm getting and stuff like that.
Oh,
Um,
no, no, no. You don't have to shoot it differently. But what I'm saying is there's
not
also
really
the
content.
horizontal video element that you can leverage to post on social media as well, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
always have to be a vertical content.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And just different combination with the photos that you have. I mean, even 360 photos, those work great.
Yeah. Would you leverage the virtual staging as well, and Data Dusk? Because I do like a ton of that, and honestly, I do a lot of it like at no cost. I do a lot of it free. Um,
Doesn't it cost you to get
no,
the
Ario
data desk
provides it.
edit though? Oh, Ario just gives it to you. Okay.
Yeah, they do. They do free virtual staging and free Data Dusk.
Hmm.
Um, and that's been something I've been utilizing a lot, and I get a lot of like traction on for vacant listings. When I show up and I'm like, even like for a free shoot, I can usually pull somebody to get some virtual staging done or something like that,
Right.
and it's been really prominent recently. But I'm thinking like if I could somehow incorporate that into the list, like the social media booster
Oh yeah.
for the 10-day blitz, and then use that as like a feature downsell where it's like price stay or price declines slightly, but in reaction to you losing all virtual staging slash data dusk images, which give it a lot more of a pop, especially with slides on a, or like a carousel slide for a Instagram post where that the
Right.
furniture like brings the space to life a little bit, even if it's
Right.
just virtually.
So you're saying basically, if anybody's got a empty listing, you're just like, I will just
Yeah,
hook
just
you
fill
up
it
with
up.
virtual staging.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm. Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I think there's some value to that. Um, but again, I think the simpler way to go about it is, okay, so say you're gonna charge 500.
right now, I'm telling people 885.
Okay, so say you're gonna charge 900, right? So 10-day blitz 900, but then if you go to 5-day blitz, now you're as 650.
Mm-hmm.
What seems more valuable?
Obviously, the probably the 10-day blitz,
Exactly. I could
but
totally see people going, well, yeah. And then if some people are really cost conscious, then they'll still bite the bullet and do the 5-day.
yeah, yeah.
Hey
'Cause you
guys,
get a
I gotta
lot.
run. I got a meeting to get to.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one.
Nice seeing you, Rob.
Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely. Have
I'll
a
fill
great
out those
weekend.
forms soon.
Okay,
Okay.
no worries.
See ya.
Thanks.
Um, so yeah, no, like I think the virtual staging idea is really great, but I think just psychological standpoint, just kind of when you downsell, the thing that you just downsold to, I feel like still has to look like it's lesser value than if I got the better thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if 10 is 900, but 5 is 600, well, obviously, 10 at 900 is better value.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to. I still need to get feedback, but I am getting that tomorrow. I'm gonna be able to send the sample to you guys
Let's
tomorrow.
let's let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Mm.
And I really like your idea of like going after people that already have social presence, because people that do not and you do this, their expectation is gonna be like, oh, you're supposed to, make everything like I'm supposed to be
My
viral because
page is
I did
supposed to
that.
blow up.
I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not how this works,
Yeah.
you know. So I think I really do love that, and I cannot. I wonder if I can find some resources that kind of shows the, like it showcases like consistency is half the battle, and when you can easily create consistency
Mm-hmm.
constantly, that's how you win on social media.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, of course, there's going to be those agents that just by themselves can post every day, and they're great, but those
Yeah.
are those are hard to come by.
Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of agents that do posting very frequently. It's just like the quality of the posts are lower, and they, even those agents that post frequently are still always the ones that are getting agent on camera.
Right.
Like they want to be attached. They want to post.
Right.
They need the resources to post. So if you can give them a mixed bag of like, hey, you can post just as much, or you can even post more,
Right.
but now we can mix in a little bit of this professional content, and or this like more polished version of what you're doing, then would that be worth it? And for a good bit of them so far. It seems like it is. Like the agent that kind of prompted this was like he pays $1,000 a month for per listing, or not a month, but he pays 1,000 per listing,
Per
and it's
listing, just for
yeah,
that portion of it.
just for that portion, and it's
Wow.
what you had sent me is more than they do.
And you don't believe whatever he's getting is worth it.
No, probably not.
Okay. All right.
But he does have a good sphere of influence. Like if
Yeah,
they're
totally.
you're a veteran agent and they're
Okay.
trying to be active, I would say that's where.
Zach, for
that-
you, man, all it takes is like one or two people to just like pop. And next thing you know, it's just like now you're starting to, get that social proof.
Yeah. How? Okay. So, real quick, I know the
Mhm.
hours pretty much up. How would you feel about it's another like kind of version of the downsell, but you give the discount, but you base it on we're gonna be collabed on all your posts. But I don't want to litter my page with all of their stuff at the same time. I almost would want to make like another page that like points to the main brand, but I could like have a tiered thing where they're constantly advertising me in order to save money. But it's like, what's more important, you keeping your brand focused on you, or you putting out professional content and just having a collab? And then like every time they're posting, they're constantly putting my brand and my advertising on there. 'Cause
So
obviously we're gonna
basically
enjoy that.
you're forcing them. So then who's doing the posting? Is it the agent?
That would be in a yeah, that would be in a situation where we're taking over to do the posting, where we can automate the collabs and we're not having to have them learn how to
Okay, so it
look
would
this.
be like it would be Realty Productions posting and then adding the agent as the collab.
It could be either way. If we're posting if we have access to their business suite and we're doing the posting for them, then it doesn't matter which way you do it. It could be either way.
Right. Well, if you're collaborating, you actually don't have to have access to their thing. You can just add them, and then they just have to accept it.
Yeah, a lot of them don't accept it.
Okay. So that's a great question. A question that I didn't even know it was a thing, because anytime we create anything for our agents, we automatically just post it on their page and then add them as a collab,
Yeah, see,
whether they accept it or not. But you're saying maybe it's like a contractual agreement that, in exchange for you paying less, you must accept the collaboration request kind of thing.
yeah, like where you're the reason you're saving money is 'cause
Right,
we're
right,
getting
right.
eyeballs.
Well, collaboration only applies to Reels, so you're talking about 3 out of the 10
You
content.
can do it with post too, I think.
I think I think with posts it's more like tagging.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't
Even
know if you can.
even still in that
Okay,
situation, yeah.
got it. Yeah, I mean, if I'm an agent, so you're telling me, because like if I'm an agent and I paid for you to make me something, I would just tag you and collab with you regardless.
And some people, a lot of people do, but
Okay.
in this instance, when you're doing a 10-day blitz
Mm,
and you're able to show up as a collab or tag in
right.
every post for, say, you spread it out over a month, like you're constantly being blasted
That
on the agent's
that
page
could be, and
versus a
like
one-off.
the biggest group of followers that follow real estate agents are other real estate agents. So I mean,
Exactly.
I think there's a, and chances are, they're gonna be like, oh my god, like who did this? But like
If
if
it's
you're
all
tagged on it, obviously
clean
they
and
know that you did it.
professional, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate that at all. I
Yeah.
just didn't know that that's a thing. But if you think it could be, like if you think people will be okay with like, oh, I'm gonna save a couple $100 in exchange for putting you on my post, like I'm good with that.
Yeah. I don't
You
think
know.
all the agents will. I think people that are more picky about brand won't. But I think there's going to be a pretty decent exception where people they feel the pressure to do this and to pay for
Mm.
this. And whatever saves them the buck, as long as they're doing it, they don't care. Um,
Do you have any listings that are still active? that you would consider like it's a pretty nice house
Yeah.
that you shot?
Yeah. I would imagine. I mean, I think I've done like 45 or something shoots like that so far this month. There's probably a yeah. I don't feel
Here's where I'm getting at.
okay.
If you have the photos and if you have the raw videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can try to put together a 10-day blitz that you can post and just add the agent as a collaborator.
See, that's what I was getting at though. As far as what I wanted feedback on is, I don't want to fill my Instagram page up with other agents' branding and posts. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy to post the main video and
Uh-huh.
collab with them, so that because my Instagram is my portfolio. I don't want to fill the portfolio up with uh, like the smaller clips and stuff like that, where it's like that's not the main piece most people are buying. You know?
Sounds like you need a second account.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is a second account would be just like a way to be like, this is like something we do. This is like a product that we offer, but it's attached to this main business. Like the social
Mm.
media side, it still runs in. It's still in the same workflow. It's just a little different where it's like I don't want to attach all of it to my current because it'll just
Oh.
will just flood with stuff that I don't want to push as much. I'm more selective about
This
what I
is
put up
this
there.
is fascinating, bro. Like you think different.
Thank you. I
This is
appreciate it.
fascinating, yo. Okay, cuz I'm just like, "Hey, we'll post it on their Instagram." But it's interesting how you're thinking and it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It's just been on my mind. I wanted to kind of get your thoughts.
Yeah,
If you
no,
have,
for sure, but I like the downsell idea.
Mhm.
I like the idea of making sure that you're talking to agents that already have some type of social presence. I think
Mhm.
that's a great target, because then after that you can actually slowly graduate them into like dabbling into YouTube as well. Because
Yeah, right now I want to stay very focused
yes, yes,
on
yep,
Meta, hyper
yep.
focused on Meta for
Okay,
probably a year at
all right.
least until I can change things.
Well, go ahead
Change
and
my life.
yeah, like go ahead. So you said tomorrow you're gonna shoot it tomorrow.
Yeah, I got one tomorrow morning.
Okay, shoot it, send it over. We'll put our best foot forward, and hopefully we'll knock it out of the park.
Yeah, hopefully he likes it, and that'll probably be the piece. I was getting a little hesitant showing Rob's,
Hmm.
but hopefully that'll be the piece that I can like show
Well,
people.
so what we can do is we can take that and put together a similar type of thing for you to be able to present to agents.
That's perfect. That's what I want. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I want. Yeah, I just need something to show people on site and
Mm-hmm.
leverage that as
Yep.
or send it pre appointment and leverage that on site to get them to upsell into doing the video, the agent on
Yeah.
camera, and this additional product
Okay.
because it
Yeah.
all flows in
Where do you have your domain at?
my domain.
Yeah. GoDaddy or
Where's it hosted?
yeah.
It's hosted through Wix.
Okay. Do you
So
know
I
how
made
to
it.
do you know how to create subdomains?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So what we can do is you can create a subdomain. I can create this page and then link it to your subdomain so you can literally call it like, 10dayblitz.realty-productions.com. So you can just text that to people and when they go there and that's what they see.
Will they still have the link to book through my site,
Yeah.
to my booking page? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to push it because if I can get, it's win-win for both of us. If I can get in
Yep.
the neighborhood of 600-700 plus at no
Well,
real additional work.
I will make sure that we make it look like it's worth $900.
Yeah, that's the key point. That's what I'm going to be trying to get for one site is make
Yep.
sure the footage. And if I show up and this property is not very dialed in, and I will probably hold
Yeah,
off.
that's gonna have to be like a game time decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's not looking as good, it's technically occupied, but in quote the agent's words, it's occupied but clean to
nice.
the point it's staged.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Okay. All right, bro. Yeah, just keep me posted, man.
Cool. Appreciate you, Jay.
All right, brother. Have a good night, man.
All right, you too.
All right.
See ya.